A woman's place is in the home. That's what I was told growing up in Taiwan. If you follow it, what I have witnessed in my life tells me you're going to end up with nothing left in you. I'm listening to my parents fight. I'm too afraid to watch them in action, so I peek into the living room, standing behind my bedroom door. I don't recall the nature of this fight, but I would later assume to be about money, gambling, drinking, and women. The major vices of my father. What else is there? They're screaming at each other, verbalizing words that I'm too young to comprehend. I can't be older than 6 because I'm still not in school yet. So suddenly I hear this thump, followed by the crashing sound of glasses shattered into a million pieces. I later learned that my father had kicked this glass table of ours in the living room in a fit of rage when my mother said, "You got to stop drinking, you got to stop gambling." He then opened our front door, slammed it shut on his way out, gone. I step out to watch my mother. Her eyes are swollen and her tears forming the trace on her cheeks. She grabs the broom and starts sweeping those broken glasses to the corner right next to the red shrine where she praised our ancestors with light incenses and candles 3 times a day. I'm stalking her like she was the prey. Except I'm just making sure that she doesn't leave me too. I'm in despair, and I need her to know. My parents' marriage was arranged. They met the first time during their engagement. They were from Dolio, a town in the southern part of Taiwan. My paternal grandparents' family was known as the rich one in town because they owned the only electronics franchise, the National. My maternal grandparents' family was known as the scholarly one. My maternal grandfather was famous for his calligraphy. They were supposed to love each other after marriage, as dictated by my Taiwanese and Chinese culture. The match was good only on paper, based on the comparable status of their respective families, one known for their wealth and the other known for scholarship and art. In real life, they were deeply unhappy, and they probably both felt trapped. At least my mother did. She was so tormented by this marriage that she attempted multiple suicides throughout her lifetime. Once trying to hang herself with a rope when I was 6. Once drinking herself to unconsciousness when I was 13. And finally slicing her wrist with a kitchen knife when I was 23. My father was a college graduate, blessed with some good luck, at least from his point of view. He was the firstborn son, and his mother, my grandmother, believed that no woman was good enough for him. I learned at a young age that he dismissed, if not despised, my mother for the simple reason that she wasn't an equal. She didn't have a college degree. How could she, even though she passed the college entrance examination and got into college, which was an achievement by itself in her time? She was pulled out because her own grandfather didn't believe in women's education. having a career or having a job was out of the question then. So like many women of her time, she couldn't contribute to our household, to my family, financially, even though she worked all day long, preparing for breakfast, getting us to school, coming home to clean house, tidying up, doing laundry, ironing clothes, preparing for dinner, helping us with homework, washing dishes, and having sex with my father. Work that was never acknowledged by my father, by society, or by me when I was young. Heck, she wasn't even considered attractive enough for him, with his wandering eyes, lingering on and landing on other women just long enough for her to take notice, and for me to take notice of her. My mother did what was expected of her as a woman in society, getting married young, staying home to care for children. Yet, the very things expected of her reduced her to nothing in my father's eyes. Since no one saw her as worthy, she became nothing in her own eyes. She was driven to the brink of death so many times that I grew up wanting her dead, so she could have some dignity being dead, if not being alive. I would rather mourn her death than watch her suffer, because of her feeling of being nothing, a choice I had to make as a child. So now here we are in the living room. My mother is done sweeping the floor. She puts down the broom, walks to the foyer, and picks up her purse, ready to head out. I run to her, screaming, hold on to her arm, and start begging, no, don't leave. She turns around, yanks her arm off me, looks at me with contempt and said, what's wrong with you? I need to go buy grocery. And off she left, gone. So here I am, sobbing all by myself, alone in our living room, after being rejected by my mother, in a fit of her own rage. One thing I couldn't articulate, but I would later understand. She feels so abandoned by my father and so alone in her marriage that she forgets that I feel abandoned by both of them. She can't see my despair because she herself is in despair. She doesn't know how to love me because she's never taught to love herself. So, love yourself, even if you don't have a place home. That's what I later learned to do for myself on my own, vowing never to return home. And please, love yourself, even if you don't have a home. Thank you.